Now, the main reason that Tesla stock is up today is because almost everything that they're doing right now is going in the right direction. That's a good reason. In fact, it's kind of surprising to me that we're not back above 400. Obviously, it's surprising to me that we're not at 488, and maybe even moving up from there. But then that's a whole other story. Austin rollout is ramping just fine with the license in hand. They got their license last week. And then the public is getting access. That's going to be kind of fun next, in September, we're going to get the public out there getting, there won't be the invite situation anymore. Advanced vehicles are spotted in the way out in the burbs. So we're going to get another expansion of the territory in Austin. All that stuff is looking very, very good. Kind of the ramp just going along as it should. And weeks and weeks and weeks are now going by with no real episodes or issues that the cars that are there now are going to have to deal with. We've got India opening up a second showroom. Now, I haven't put much stock in the whole India thing, but a couple of articles this morning were suggesting that India is important and it's a growing market and it's going to be a bigger market. And, I can understand that. There's a fairly large middle class and upper class in India that might be interested in Tesla vehicles. And who knows, maybe it's going to be a bigger market than I was anticipating. Semi is on the verge. We're only, a few months away, from 4.5 months away from Tesla ramping. That's huge. I mean, it's huge. I mention it here all the time, but this is the equivalent, 50,000, 40,000 of these semi trucks is the equivalent of like 300,000 of these Model Qs that everybody's so excited about. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm excited about the Model Q too. I think it reaches down into the TAM. I think that this has always been a plan of Elon's, was to get cars out there that were going to be more affordable. And then at the end of today's video, I've got a little special sauce, something that popped up on X today that I thought was special. It's kind of political. I'm putting it at the end because it's not really relevant to the rest of everything that we do here on the channel, but I thought it was really nice and maybe you'll like it. Let me know in the comments below whether you do or don't like the idea that I slapped that baby on the end. TipRank says this: Tesla shares are getting a lift today as investors react to news of the company's fast-moving expansion in India. See? The EV maker is accelerating the rollout of the supercharger network in major cities, including Delhi, Mumbai, and Bengaluru. This work is in preparation for the start of Tesla vehicle deliveries in the country next month. India is one of the world's fastest growing auto markets with a large and increasingly affluent population. For Tesla, the timing is critical. The government has been signaling support for electric vehicles through policy incentives and infrastructure projects, and entering the market now gives Tesla the ability to capture early market share before local and global competitors are able to scale up. The expansion also shows Tesla's commitment to adapting its global strategy. That's a funny sentence. To continuing with their global strategy. While China and the United States remain the core markets, India offers a fresh growth frontier. Investors understand that opening a new high potential region could significantly boost long-term revenue, which is why today's market reaction has been so positive. I think that's nonsense. I don't think anybody is following the India action except to say, oh, that's good. I think it's way down on the list of anybody's interest. Maybe it's a catalyst, maybe, I don't know. Investors are treating this as the next big catalyst for today's growth story. The combination of a young consumer base, rising incomes, and government-backed EV incentives could provide fertile ground for rapid adoption. Well, the fact is that Tesla's not just selling cars there, but they're also building and charging infrastructure. It tells us that they're really planning to do serious work there. This integrated approach has been a successful formula in other markets. While the Indian news is the main focus, Tesla is also benefiting from technical market action. The stock recently triggered a buy signal on widely watched chart patterns. This has caught the attention of short-term traders and algorithmic funds. I think this is way more important. The move comes alongside gains in other big tech names like Apple, Technical traders often wait for breakouts above key resistance levels before entering positions. When Tesla crossed this threshold, it brought the rush of buying back for those who watch this kind of stuff closely. This layer of demand is adding to the buying pressure. So I would say there's also this idea that Tesla has not participated in the big run-up, and folks who have cash on the sidelines, as I mentioned last night in the story last night, there's a lot of cash on the sidelines, and they're like, gosh, it seems like these other stocks are already, they've had their entire run. Maybe they'll go up another 2% or 3%, but Tesla has the potential to 7x, 10x, maybe more. Today's rally is a rare case where both short-term and long-term forces are pushing in the same direction. On the short-term side, the technical breakout is drawing in fast-moving capital. On the long-term side, the India expansion is giving fundamental investors a reason to raise their growth forecasts. When these two types of buyers enter the market at the same time, the result would be a sharp, sustained move higher. This is exactly what we're seeing today. If Tesla executes well in India and market sentiment stays positive, the stock could have room to run well beyond the initial reaction. And I think the India thing is fine, but I think there's other catalysts that are more important. Despite today's rallies, analysts remain split on Tesla's long-term valuation. According to TipRank's data, the stock holds a hold consensus rating based on 37 Wall Street analysts. 14 rate the stock a buy, 15 call it a hold, and only 8 recommend selling. Barron's has a completely different idea. Fundstrat market technician sees Tesla stock testing 368 if shares can close above 338 in the coming days. And, Tesla's stock rose early. This is a Barron's, I think. Yeah, this is Barron's. Tesla stock rose early Monday, adding to recent gains. Shares are looking to recapture some recently lost momentum. Another strong day or two brings a stock price of 368 back into focus for technically minded traders. The electric vehicle maker's stock was up 1.3% of pre-market trading, 334. I think it's a little down from there, but still around 332 right now. So, this is excellent. One thing that might be helping shares, you see, everybody's got a different idea, is longer wait times for Tesla vehicles. Yes, I think that could definitely be an issue. The company recently increased its estimated wait times for most popular electric vehicles, the Model Y, to 4 to 6 weeks from a recent range of about 1 to 3 weeks. It's a signal of more order activity. No kidding. Higher demand is good news, but this is the last quarter buyers can qualify for the $7,500. The benefit was eliminated, of course, as you know. Whatever the reason, a close in the green will make it 4 days in a row for the stock. Shares haven't closed that high since late June, when they closed above 340, following the launch of the self-driving activity in Austin. It was a self-driving, it shouldn't say self-driving, it should be autonomous ride hail. It was a modest launch with a handful of Tesla Model Ys. And, Tesla has slowly expanded the area of where people are able to get the ride-hail service. Tesla investors have been very focused on the autonomous driving technology. It represents an AI computing application that many Tesla believes will unlock a new era of earnings growth. They're right. Stocks, however, can often stall out after big events. That's what seems to have happened to Tesla shares lately. Technically, Tesla has faced some resistance around 330. Resistance refers to a recent ceiling for the stock. Getting above the robotaxi-related levels would be bullish for the stock, wrote Mark Newton, head of technical strategy at Fundstrat, the Tom Lee company. In a recent report, the signal shows sharp gains in the back half of this year, says Newton, adding he sees a breakout possible in the days ahead, and any close above 338 would signify the structural requirements for a breakout. If shares can get above 338, Newton sees 368 as the next stop. He isn't making a fundamental call on Tesla stock. Technical analysts look at stock charts and market history to get their theories. Investors Business Daily takes another look, and they say Tesla stock advanced about 1.5 before Monday's start market opened, trading near early entries after making a move in above its 50 and 200-day moving average, and a jump above Friday's high of 335 or the short-term peak of 338. Say agree with the 338 would offer an aggressive entry point. Tesla stock is still in a new base with a traditional 367. They've been saying this for weeks and weeks. This is the $367.71 buy point. However, the relative strength line has lagged for several weeks, rejecting the lacking performance of compared to the S&P 500. In late July, Tesla undercut the 50-day and the 200-day moving averages as Musk warned of a few rough quarters. As of Friday's close, Tesla stock was up 38% since the April 22 quarter one conference call, lifted by robotaxi bets. Shares are down about 18% for the year and 32% below the all-time highs. So, the Wall Street Journal says, are you tired of ugly cars and SUVs that all look the same? Check out crossovers like the Honda CR-V, the Ford Escape, and the BMW XM, the last with the staggering $160,000 price tag. These three vehicles look almost identical, an unintended consequence, believe it or not, of 50-year-old corporate average fuel economy standards. But gasoline mileage rules were effectively tossed out of the big, beautiful bill. So maybe beautiful cars will be making a comeback. Well, okay, I agree. Cars look kind of all alike, although they definitely have differences. But I'm more interested in the transportation. I'm interested in the economy. I'm interested in how fast they go. JD Vance says, we want you back, Elon. Vice President Vance says Elon's fallout with Trump is just a cooling off period, and he's urging the genius to come back in full by the midterms. Speaking about the recent White House drama, Vance admits the two aren't exactly swapping texts right now, but stressed that Elon was a critical part of the team in the last election. So lots of little hints of Elon coming back, of somehow maybe a rapprochement. Maybe we get Lutnick to get in there, not Lutnick, Kendrick. No, I'm forgetting the guy's name, the one that's doing Russia right now. Anyway, he seems to be able to put together good peace deals. Maybe he could be the one to get it done. I just can't remember his name this second. Kendrick, maybe it's Kendrick. Anyway, but this is good news too. See, I count this as being part of the reason the stock is up today. This is, by the way, this is Randy Kirk. If you would like to that would be good. If you'd like to subscribe, that would be even better. If you'd like to hit notify, that would be good for you. Because, of course, Larry Goldberg will be back after a week of not getting to see Larry. That'll be great. And then Brian White and I will have a really cool opportunity at the evening hour around 7:45, something like that. And join Patreon. I think you should join. Okay. Washington Post has this. This is horrible. This is really good news and a horrible slant. This just drives me nuts. But as part of this whole labor thing, it's really, really important to pay attention to what is really going on with the labor numbers. But listen to this. The share of mothers ages 25 to 44 with young children in the workforce. Did you see what they did there? They left out commas and stuff, and so it made it really funny. The share of mothers aged 25 to 44 with young children in the workforce. I don't think they're young children in the workforce. Anyway, the share of mothers in the workforce with young children has fallen every month this year, dropping by 3 percentage points between January and June to the lowest level in more than 3 years, according to analysis by the federal data of Misty Hegnes, a professor at the University of Kansas. The drop has been enough to wipe out many of the gains made by working mothers after the pandemic, when remote work arrangements and flexible schedules lured many back into the labor force. So the Washington Post sees young mothers working as a gain. They want that. They want this to be the way that the future is, with young mothers being forced to leave their children with others while they go and work for the man. But the reversal of many of these policies, with major corporations and government agencies now requiring employees to be back at the office 5 days a week, has had the opposite effect. Hegnes said sweeping federal layoffs have also been a setback for women and other caregivers who have long relied on the government for stable and flexible employment. It's becoming harder for women, particularly those with caregiving responsibilities, to thrive in this job market. It's clear we're backsliding into the 𝐂𝐚𝐬𝐥 economy. Ken meaning guys, white guys. That the return to office chest pounding is having a real ripple effect. In some cases, mothers say they are giving up happily, in line with MAGA culture and the rise of the traditional wife, the trad wife on social media. Of course, they're looking down their nose at this. My two children who have young children, are both non-working moms, which celebrates women choosing conventional gender roles by focusing on children rather than their careers. The Trump administration has doubled down on its message that Americans should be having more babies, with Vice President J.D. Vance promoting the benefits of having a parent at home, saying young children are clearly happier and healthier in such arrangements. Agree. The mother of my children was able to not work the entire time they were at home. This year's pullback among mothers is part of a broader shift. Some 212,000 women over 20 have stopped working or applying for a job since January, with particularly pronounced drops for Black women and those ages 25 to 34. Labor Department shows, and while the unemployment rate of 4.2%, which is the same as the average, remains low, the share of women in the workforce has fallen since January, maybe making an opportunity for white men or men of color. I don't care, just men. Get those men back into the workforce. Trump, 1.78, up a beat. The TRU, I'm sorry, 1.78. I looked at the wrong line here. Trump, 48%, which is up 1%. That's his, how many people like what he's doing right now. The Truflation was up a little bit. That is what's at 1.78, but still way under 2%. The year over year is now 2.02, and the PCE number, the core PCE number on Truflation, is at 2.28. And of course, the GDP, number is still at 2.25 because that one was not able. That one won't be changed till the 15th. I thought it was daily, but it turns out it's here. I don't know. I haven't been able to figure out how they do it. It's not weekly. It's not every other day. I can't figure it out. But the next time they're going to do it is this Friday. So at least we know when that's coming. All right, let's go ahead and look at the VIX. And the VIX is sitting at, this morning, it's come down some. And we are now at 1576, under 16. It's come and it's going down, so down and to the right. Tesla is still at 341 this morning. That's way above 338. So technically what we're hearing is we should be on the way to 368. And then there's that $371 or I forget what it is, and 71 cents. Anyway, so looking good. We've broken out, apparently, if we can stay at these numbers at the end of today. The Dow, which was up, is slightly down now at 0.22. And the NASDAQ, which was up, is going up and to the right a little bit, just barely. 0.15 up this morning. And the S&P also barely. It's been flat right along the zero line all morning. It is up 0.02 right now. We have got the Magnificent Seven split. The other six are split with 3 up and 3 down. And the Cathie Woods are also mostly split. Trend more up than down, okay, and that would tell you, of course, might be a signal about the bonds, although not always. But I would say on average, we've been finding that it is a signal. And this morning, the bonds are down 1.4 basis points to 4.269. Good news. All right. We have got oil steady up 1 penny. Actually, at this moment, exactly unch. We have got natural gas, I'm sorry, at 63.88. We've got natural gas down 0.57% to $2.97. It was $2.91 on Friday, so apparently somewhere it went up and now it's down again. Gold has been wrecked after being up at all-time highs. It is off 77.60. That could be partially profit-taking, but there are also some tariff issues that Trump is threatening to do. We're not exactly sure because there's uncertainty about what that's going to look like. The gold prices have come down according to some headlines. Silver down this morning, 1.63 to 37.91. But there's nothing happening to silver in terms of tariffs. So why is it down 1.63? Copper is down 0.16 at $4.46, where it has been right around $4.50 now since the big change in the tariffs. The dollar is mixed, and Bitcoin is up 1663 this morning at 123.65. This is looking like a potential breakout, although maybe not. Maybe it will top out at its new all-time high, and we won't see much additional action. Okay, then I promised you this other thing that I wanted to bring you. This is from Matt Van Swal, and he says, "Oh man, I'm not sure how to write this, but here it goes. January of this year, I've done something that I've never ever done before. I gave Trump credit for doing something good. I gave him credit for keeping his promises to those of us who live in Western North Carolina. I could never have imagined the volume of hate and anger I received from doing something that was obviously the right thing to do. Just giving credit where credit was due, saying thank you. Since that moment, I've learned a lot. I've learned that some of my liberal friends were never friends. They've torched our friendship almost immediately just for thanking Trump. I learned that many liberals seem to preach tolerance but aren't tolerant of conservative ideas at all. It's just an act to pretend to be moral. I learned that the greatest organizations in the world are churches, something that was genuinely unthinkable to me just a year ago. I learned that the media just lie. They lie constantly without fear of being caught. I learned that they can't be trusted. I learned that lying comes from a bizarre sense of righteous morality, that the lie in the end will achieve something good. I learned that I offloaded my own critical thinking to these organizations, and that many of these news stories, I believed that they were true. They never were. I learned what it means to be swatted. I learned what it's like to have some crazed leftist send armed police to my home with my kids in their beds at 2 a.m., claiming I'd been shot, and then to break down the door. I learned the only thing in the world that can change a person's mind is kindness in action, because that's what changed mine. I learned that kindness is telling the truth, not protecting someone else's feelings. I learned that telling the truth is the most dangerous thing that you can do, and that's why free speech matters so much. I learned that free speech is never truly free. They will come after your entire life and try to destroy everything in it, but it was worth it. It's all been worth it. And Elon Musk reposted that particular little missive this morning. All right, before I go, let's just go back one more time and check where Tesla has continued. We're back, moving up again, 341.64. That's a good way to start the morning and the week. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. It has been great talking to you.